Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I wanted to implement increasing difficulty over time. So I've created a small function by playing around with fullplot.com, and this is a method to calculate the interval at which an ICBM will spawn. So on the left here we have the number of seconds for the interval. And on the right, at the bottom, we have the number of seconds that have progressed in game. And this function I've created, minus x times 0.015 plus 5. So I'll explain each part of it. The minus x is the current game time. I have added a minus so that it is decreased over time. You can see what happens if I remove the minus and press enter. The interval will increase, so hence the minus. And for the next part, this is the scaling factor of the time. If I would increase this to say 0.15, so factor 10 higher, it will decrease very fast. And if I would do say 0.5, it would decrease a little bit slower. 0.2, yet slower. 0.15 I've used to get to a playtime of about 3 minutes, or sorry, 300 seconds or 5 minutes. So that after 5 minutes you should be dying. So the plus 5 is for the starting interval, which is over here. This is exactly 5. If I would decrease it to say 4, you can see that the function is just transformed a little lower, and the steepness doesn't change. So if I would decide that, for instance, I want 4-second interval, you can see that the drop off here, it drops off before 5 minutes, so I would have to make this maybe 0.70, oh sorry, I need to go up lower, 0.13 to get back to our 5 minutes. So for now I am going to start out by creating this with 0.15 and plus 5. So the next step for us is to implement this in our spawner. So we open the Unreal Engine editor, go to the ICBM folder and use BP ICBM spawn. Now, for our first version, we have made simply a variable, which is always 5. And now I want to create a function to calculate this based on the function I've shown you previously in the graph. So I create a new function by going here to functions, pressing plus function, and I'm going to call it calculate spawn interval. And over here on the right, I am going to add an output parameter, and this will be called the spawn interval. And it will be of type float. Now, I will give you the challenge to implement the function I've shown you over here into Unreal Engine, and I will give you one pointer. You can get the current game time with get time seconds, and this is the description reads: returns time in seconds since world was brought up for play, adjusted by time dilation, and is stopped when the game pauses. So this is your starting point, and from here you should be able to find the float times float, float plus float, etc. And eventually return the spawn interval over here. So good luck with the challenge, and I'll see you in a minute.